Welcome to Dad's Drafts.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Dad's Drafts, where I hope to learn something from you and maybe I can teach you something about this game. Now, as you can see, we're going to do another premier draft of Aetherdrift. You might hear some noise in the background. It's probably the children who are trying to get to sleep, so do forgive me if something happens. And if I do have to do some talking, I will mute myself. That should be okay. Now, let's get right into this. If you like what I do, feel free to click some buttons and maybe subscribe. And especially welcome to my 7 new subscribers, which are all students of mine, I think. And none of them actually interested in this game. But hey, cloud is cloud, I would say. Now, I will say my picks, why I do them, so that you can maybe, learn something from it. And I watched my videos back last time. And I must say I did notice some mistakes in my playing, so let's hope I make fewer mistakes this time. You can see there's already some people, or at least one person in my chat. Welcome. Alright, well, let's take a look what we have. And you should forgive me if I do all the coughing. Now there's the Count on Luck, which is a good card, but it's very difficult to cast, so I will not play it. It has 3 red mana. Other interesting cards are Galvanic Blast, which is a premium or decent removal. Run over is pretty nice. But there's also 2 uncommons here, which I really like. And I think the one with the best upside and probably least replaceable is a Memory Guardian. But picking one of these 2, the Galvanic Blast or Run Over, could also be done. But I think I'll just go for the Memory Guardian and see if maybe we can end up in something with artifacts, making this a very cheap threat. Okay, this is an interesting pack. There is a board wipe here, which I think is always first pickable, so I'm kind of surprised that it's still in here. Noting that white is not the strongest color, but I think I cannot pass on a board wipe, so I will have to take it here. And even if I don't get to play it with double white, it's always a card with cycling, which has an upside. Let's see who else is drafting. Now, for the people who are new to watching this, this is not yet the playing, of course. This is the drafting part. So what happens is you open a pack of cards and you pick a card which you will use, and the rest of the pack you pass on to the people next to you, which is what we are doing right now. So we're not actually playing yet, we are going to build a deck. Now, out of the cards that I have, I think the pile-up is probably the best card, considering the Memory Guardian. So if we want to go white, that's okay. There is a cycle which will put us in white-red, which I would try to avoid. But there's also this Surveyor, which is pretty good in any white deck. And then the second color doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to take this Surveyor. But I wouldn't mind some of these green cards. So green seems reasonably open. So maybe we will end up in some kind of white-green pack, perhaps. White-green deck. Okay. So there's another run over. But there's also another Memory Guardian. And since we're already in white, I can see a world where we end up in white-blue, and then these are pretty good. There are moments where you can cast these for 2 or 3 mana, which makes them excellent. But then you want to curve out, so we also need some cheap artifacts, like this one, which is not the best. But I'm just going to take the Memory Guardian here. My goodness. Okay, so blue artifacts is very open. As you can see, I will not take this card, even though it's very fun to play with. There's a Serpent and a Guardian, but if it's really open, we will see more of these. I'm just going to take the Guardian here, which, triple Guardian is pretty nice. But now we just need mostly cheap artifacts. There is a Fang Guardian, which is pretty decent, but considering these 3, I want to cast them for cheap. I think I'll just go for the Sarcophagus, because it is an artifact, and that will make my Guardian cheaper because it has affinity for artifacts, and it says A spell with affinity for artifacts costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. So I will have this one, and hopefully have a lot of cheap artifacts. Okay, I am not yet sure about the white that I'm in, because these white cards are okay, but it doesn't seem extremely open. So I guess I'll just take another artifact, so I get maximum value, and the start your engines thing on this is also pretty decent. Alright, well, it seems like white-blue artifacts is open enough. Trip Up is also pretty nice, but since we're already very deep into artifacts, I will take the Quick Welder, which makes all my artifact spells cost 1 less, which of course is a great combination. Assailant is okay, but I'm not sure if this is the deck. As you can see, we're drafting with 8 people, so that means this was my opening pack. And no one took the count unlock because it's just not a card, which is pretty good. So I'm just going to take the counter spell here, because I think it can be pretty decent. Okay, Trip Up is nice, but this one just makes an artifact, which also helps. And the artifact has flying, and flying is pretty good. I'll just take the land here. You never know. Maybe we want to go for a third color. Yeah, guess I'll take that. Okay, well, if that came around, I think it's pretty clear that blue-white artifacts is indeed open. So let me just put these back. Hope to not play the Surveyor. Considering all the artifacts that we have, I think that either the Glide Car or the Thopterist will come around, and I think the Chariot is probably the best pick here. So I'm just going to take this as a top end, but at this point I'm just taking all the cheap artifacts because we have Serpent and 3 Memory Guardians. Now I wouldn't mind a stock up, but I think the Nesting Bud does exactly what we want because it is an artifact. Oh, this is a very interesting card. It's not something we can play because we will not do much discarding. But there's this Refueler, which is an artifact in and of itself, so it does what we want. But we don't have any other exhaust abilities yet, so this will just be a 2-mana 3/3 vehicle. And if you pay 4, you put a counter and you draw a card, which is okay. And maybe we will end up with more exhaust cards. But I'm just taking this, noting that we could use some more removal spells, like this one, which is not an artifact, but it's premium removal, so I'm of course going to take it. Another Gear Serpent, yes please. Maybe we take a Collision Course, but the Imitator is also very nice. I think I'll go for the Imitator. I think it has the highest upside. Don't want any more of these. I mean, there are better artifacts to cast at 2 mana, and considering blue-white is open, I think we will see more of those. But I'm just going to take this. Okay, that is a very nice card. If we play this, we can just put one of these artifacts onto the battlefield, which is pretty neat. For now, I'm just going to assume that we don't need to splash the red for the land. Now, we also want to keep an eye on our curve, and it looks very expensive, but I take it that with the artifacts that we have, I think we could assume that these are about 4 mana and these are about 3 mana, which makes it much better. It's an interesting card, but I don't think it's very good. Yeah, I'll take the trick. So this was our opening pack. Hey, good to see you again, welcome. Yeah, I know, we have a pretty high 2-drop curve, which I don't mind, as long as all the 2-drops that I play do something with the discount, because we have so many of these things. Don't really care about the vehicle. I think I'll take the Howler Heavy, mostly as a trick. But this could go the distance. Now there's another thing with exhaust, but I will... I don't think I will play the Sky Engineer. Simply because it's not an artifact. And this one is. So, since we want to be almost only artifacts, I'm just going to put this aside as well. We can always play it, but we don't have huge start your engines payoffs. Blue-green also clearly open. I'll take that. I don't think... I'm actually pretty good. Thank you for asking. I've had a busy day, you know, students can be quite a pain, but they mean well. Okay, well, I guess we have to bring this splash land back, because we just opened a Chandra, which gives an artifact, which is good, right? You must sacrifice an artifact or discard a card if you do draw a card. Create a artifact creature token, vehicle. Yeah, I think Chandra is definitely the pick. Now, cards that I would like to see are, for instance, the strategist coming around, or maybe the optimizer, because this also does everything that we want. It makes these incredibly easy to cast. But yeah, we take Chandra. Spike Shell Harrier is amazing. And I think I will take it over the Rambler or the Tyrant. This is, I think, one of the best 5-drops in the game. Now I think I'll just get rid of these. Sacrifice an artifact for an artifact card with mana value equal +1. Well, if there's a deck to play it, it is this deck. But I don't think we can actually do it. We could play the Rover Blades, would be devastating with these, and we can cast them cheaply. But maybe Stock Up is the better card here. Yeah, I think I will have to take the Stock Up. And I would like some removal. We didn't see any exile spells. I'll take a Stock Up. Oh, there we go. There's another removal. Now, to finish this off, I think I'm going to need one more tap land. I'll take another Serpent. No tap lands. I do like this one, but we do need to have to do some cutting. But I will probably take that over the Trip Up. Also the Howler's Heavy. Yeah, I would love to get one more land for the splash, but we didn't get to see it just yet. I could always take this one, because it's also an artifact. But there's also another Thopterist, which I think is probably better. Yeah, I think I'll just take this. Still no land, unfortunately. I think I'll just take the column. I have to check out how much fixing I'm going to need. Strategist is pretty nice. Yeah, blue-white's extremely open. I don't think we will see anything useful anymore, and we do need to do some cutting. We've got 3 Serpents, but all of these will probably be somewhat cheaper. And a board wipe. So I don't think we will play the Spell Pierce. I will play one counter spell, I think. Bounce off is pretty nice. If you can bounce something to the opponent's hand and then counter it, it's very painful. Okay. So I need to take a look at the curve as it probably is. So these are probably about 3 mana and these are probably about 4 mana. And then we're still a bit on the heavy side at the 4-drop spot. So I think I got one top tourist. I think I get rid of the Intimidator. And we have 11 artifacts. That's pretty good. Yeah, you're right. I think it's still probably still worth splashing for the Chandra. But I'm not sure what I should cut. I guess I'll cut one top tourist. And that's it, because otherwise our 4 drops will be just too much. Okay, so let's get right into this this game. Now I was actually pretty happy that I drew the double-faced, or it is double-faced, duo land, which makes it at least able to try and play Chandra. Okay, well, no artifacts in hand, but we've got quite some cards to at least slow down the opponent if he's very aggressive. And we've got all our colors, which is also important. So I'm keeping this. And it seems like the opponent mulligans. So he's down 1 card. Or yeah. So he's at 6. Okay, well, we really need to draw some artifacts soon. The cheaper the better. Okay, well, that's not a big threat. Well, we are drawing all the things that need artifacts to be on the battlefield, but we're not drawing any artifacts. So let's hope we do that soon. And I'm probably going to bounce anything that he plays now. That is an artifact, so I will take that. And now you can see it makes everything cheaper. But we've got no great attacks. And we need to draw a land. If we don't, I am pretty much forced to just bounce the thing again. Okay. So I will bounce that because we will draw a card. Hopefully it's a land. It is not. So a bit unlucky so far. But at least next turn we could, if we want to play the Quick Welder. Or the Memory if Guardian if we draw a land. It is a land. I'll just go for the Guardian. Maybe he has a counter spell. That would be quite painful. Okay, well, seems like he has a bounce off. He's going to return it to my hand, I think. No attacks. And we've got a board wipe, so if he goes very wide and he goes crazy, we can always kill everything. Ooh, that is nice. All creatures and vehicles, so it's not planeswalkers actually. Yeah. I think I just play the Chandra. I think it's probably the best thing. And we just do the 0 ability. Don't want target vehicle until it becomes an artifact creature. So we can actually just attack with the 3/2 vehicle. And I assume he will not trade it for anything because he wants to use the abilities. And we still have okay blockers. And now we could actually play the Serpent next turn. Okay. So he did have the bounce off. And I think now Chandra will die. But since he already mulliganed, I think I'll just have to board wipe pretty soon. But we do need one more land to make it all happen. He might have a counterspell. I probably don't want to risk this. So I think I have to play out some things. Right? Okay, well I think I'm just going to take some risk here. If he has a counterspell, I will be sad. But he has only 2 cards in his deck, so let's just assume for safety's sakes. Okay, well I'm very glad that he's doing this. Because now he doesn't have any mana, so I know for sure that he's not going to counter it. So this is fine, and then we blow up everything. And now his hand is 3 cards, and our hand is 5 cards. And if we draw another land, which we don't, it's unfortunate, because if we play this, we cannot play this. So we just play the most expensive card first. We are drawing all our big boys with not enough 2-drops on the battlefield. So I really hope to draw some cheap artifacts now. I'm not blocking, of course, because if I am, he will blow up the compactor to deal 3 damage to this and it will die. Oh my goodness, well, he doesn't have an empty hand. It loses all abilities. Yeah, I think I have to do this. And now our serpents are at least cheap enough to play. But the goal of this whole deck was not to wait until turn 7 or 8 to play these. Okay, interesting. Well, I probably want to get rid of a flyer, but if he does this, it will not die. Neither will mine, because then he can no longer use that. Yeah, I think we just do it like this. Because I want him to use the artifact on this. And we trade a creature. But I still need cheap artifacts. Oops, I just misclicked. since we're not blocking with it, I might as well just attack with this one. And, well, the clock is now ticking. We deal 5 damage each turn, and he deals 4. Especially if he keeps attacking. Oh, that's a really, really good draw. It really kills his attacks, so I'm just going to play this now. Pruitt. And we deal 8. So we have Lethal Serpent next turn. And his attacks get way worse. As long as this one is on the battlefield. But he must have something. Seems like he might have some kind of, okay, destruction spell. So I think we just win here. Yeah, I think we just go for the swing, right? We make this unblockable. And we kill him. Okay. First game done. Now we drew all of our 6 drops in the first few turns, which was unfortunate. And little to none 1 and 2 drops. So I hope that the next few turns it will be at least a little bit faster. But I cannot complain. Game number 2. Oof. No white source. He goes first, so we have a draw. And we do have a roadside blowout, which we maybe could use on turn 1, depending on if he plays something. So I'm going to keep it. Even though it is a bit of a risky keep, and of course we draw even more islands. So what we're looking for is a plains, and then we should be okay. And the sooner the better. That is not a plains. And whatever he plays now, I might just bounce it. To at least make him use his mana again. I would really like a white source now, so we can play Quick Welder plus Sarcophagus. And then the Memory Guardian will be very cheap. Okay, well, we didn't. So I think we'll just play this, and he's stuck on lands. So it seems like we both have mana issues. But at least we can start dealing some damage. And if he plays something and we do draw a land, any land, we can just return it to his hand. Okay, he did draw the land. Oh no. That's probably pretty much like the best card in game. Of course it's not white. When it enters, create a 3/2 colorless vehicle with crew 1. Because you control have flying. Whenever one of the creatures you control with flying. So I think I return the vehicle. Because then it just disappears. I think that's the best option here. And now he has no creatures with flying. But it is important to know that whenever his flying creatures deal combat damage to me, he draws a card. And drawing a card is pretty much the strongest mechanic in the game. And next turn we can play the Sarcophagus and the Memory Guardian. Because this one makes that one even cheaper. But we still need a white source here. Seems like he's going to kill my 2/2 flyer. Okay. Well, I need more white sources, especially now. Oh. Okay, well, we're just being very unlucky. I guess we'll just have to wait. And unfortunately, in the meantime, he will probably build out his board. So within these 26 cards, there's 7 white sources, 7 planes. So odds are about 1 in 4 that we draw it. We just need to get rid of the gunner. Okay, well that's also a problem. At least we can block it. Okay. Well, at this point my deck is just mocking me. If only we drew the Gear Seeker Serpent now. I think it would only cost 3 mana. And if we did draw a white, it would be even more. Or even less, actually. Yep. Well, we're going to need these blockers for the Fabricator or whatever creature with flying. Hey! There we go. I guess we just play the biggest creature now that he's tapped out. And we look up for an artifact card. I think we'll do that one. It will only cost 1. And next turn we could actually start attacking with the Pathmaker and make ourselves a path. Also keep in mind the exhaustibility on this one, which can be pretty relevant. Make this a 5/5. One more planes, and then maybe the board wipe. But I'm pretty sure that he has more stuff. Yep. Well, I'm going to do what I think I have to do, even though he probably has some kind of removal. Wow. Is he going to use 2 cards for that? Okay, well, I'm happy with that. Very happy. Yep, that's a good card. Okay. So we cannot play the Chariot. We could attack with this one. So I think we probably just crew it with the Quick Welder. I'm not sure what's happening in in my stream chat, but I cannot really take it seriously. Now we have 3 Gear Serpents, so there's a lot of stuff that we can draw which can easily get us to victory, but we just need to draw it. And he will draw a lot of cards with the Merfolk. Oh. Well, I think this is pretty much over. But let's see if there's a way that we can maybe survive this. And they all have flying. 4, 7, 14. I think I'm just dead. Okay, well. I do like that he's actually doing that as well. So let's see if we can block and maybe get out of this somewhat alive. I didn't do the math, but this is all we can do. Okay, well, thank you for the raid. Oh, I'm still alive. I'm at 1. Thank you. I think you just like increased my viewers count with, what is it, 700%. So we are not dead, but the problem is he has 3 Topters which are all lethal. And that is a bit too late, I fear. Yep. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do. That was a very good card. So we can do this. We can exile something. But he has lethal in the air, so it's a good game. Too bad. Yep. Good game. Again, very unlucky with the lands. Maybe I should not splash the red. It makes our deck way less stable. But it's fun playing in Chandra, so let's just try it again. If it happens again, I will probably get rid of red. But I don't think there was much that we could do there. I was actually surprised that I still lived to see one more turn. But the Thopters got to us. We're 1-on-1. Let's keep this going. Again, being very unlucky. I cannot keep this. This is somewhat better. And I need double blue for the Gear Serpent, so I'm ditching red. And we just need to draw some cheap artifacts. And considering he's playing green, I think we have to keep up Flood the Engine for big guys. But this is also something that I will gladly remove. I'm not even sure why the artifacts that I have, the cheap ones, and wait until like the end of the game to show up. And now we're just only drawing lands. At least we have a turn 5 play, which is something. Okay. It's a 4/4. It's pretty good. Oh, that's also pretty nice. So I think I will not play anything. Hopefully he builds out his board a bit more and we can blow everything up. Please play something else too. Okay, well, now I'm doing the pile up, of course. And next turn we can just play the Serpent, which I hope will block most of his things. Oh my goodness. So any creature he plays is now 6/6. That's tough to beat. Oh my goodness, these lands. Well, let's just try and get a bit more aggressive here. I assume he has something. Okay, he has nothing, for it seems. Okay, we get rid of the Guardian. We've been very flooded, but we are still holding on with dear life. Okay, so far it's looking good, and we can play both. I should have played that before combat, just to have our speed up one. Okay, so he can kill. Okay, I think that's a good game. Wow. Okay, well, we had the most terrible draws, but we actually got there. Kind of surprised, but you know. Now I wonder how this deck will play if we actually just draw our 1, 2, and 3 drops from the start, or have them in our opening hand. What did the blue chain mean? Oh, whenever you put something on an opponent's creature, for instance that enchantment, it becomes tapped, and the chain means that it doesn't untap the next step. So if you put the enchantment on it, it will always have a blue chain on it because it will never untap. So the opponent cannot block with it, he cannot attack with it. Oh my goodness. Yet another mediocre hand, but we have some slowdown and removal, so I think I'm going to keep. We could draw a plains from the top, which would be nice. And there's also something in the game which are called stun counters. So you put counters on the opponent's creatures and then they are stunned, and so the same thing happens. But then at some point the chain will go away. I wonder if it's going to be one of those games again. This mana so far has been an absolute nightmare. We're not even drawing our third land. We are being challenged more than we should be. Okay, well there's a land. I think I'll just do this. So now you see it's tapped, but the enchantment says it loses all abilities and it doesn't untap. And so the blue chain means it doesn't untap. So this creature is pretty much useless. Yeah, I really need to draw a anything, to be honest. Okay, well that helps. We cannot do that. I think I have to do this one first. So I can trade off the Aetherdrift for one of these two. I think the Javelin. And then at least we have 2 more artifacts with which make this cheaper. Okay, well I'm very happy that he's actually doing this. At this point I'm just trying to stay alive. I mean, our stabilizing moment will come later, I think. Our getting back, it's called turning the corner, so he's still attacking us heavily. Oh, that is very unfortunate. That is very fortunate. So whenever he discards, he creates 2/2 tapped zombie tokens. Now, I wonder if this works. Let me think. I think it works. I'm playing this one. And then I could attack with it. I probably want to block with that one. So I'm just going to attack with this one to get our speed up. And we can play a Memory Guardian and another Memory Guardian, which is pretty much the whole idea of our deck. But this thing is very annoying. I assume he has some ways to cycle or discard or whatever. Okay. Seems like he's just getting in there. I hope he doesn't have a trick. I think I'll just chomp, because we used all of our discount. So I think we'll just go like this. And it will be very painful if he has a removal spell. Maybe he has the +1/+1 counter and indestructible. But this is not looking too good. If only we could draw some serpents. Yep. Yeah, that just happened. So now our creature is dead before damage. And then his still lives. He is putting on a lot of pressure. We could really use a mountain. I think I'm just going to remove Chandra because it's too much trouble. Okay, so I think this is actually pretty decent. I'm going to return that to his hand. And then I can counter it next turn. And we get in for 3. And if he attacks with something, I think I'll just chomp. I mean, we get a new one, which will be a 2/1 soon. Oh, that's, I think, even better to counter. Doesn't seem like he has a lot of... Oh, that's actually pretty nice. Okay, so now we just get in for maximum damage. We're not going to use it yet. I think I'm going to wait one more turn. I want him to play more stuff, so we can blow up more stuff. That's pretty much how it works. And we're just going to block the most damage. It's pretty clear that he has 0 tricks because the game goes on quickly. So now we can get in for 4 more damage next turn, and we can blow everything up. And then we can maybe play the Serpent later. So let's just do this. We kill everything. But he has more action in hand, and we still have this Chandra, which we cannot play. So after this game I'm going to remove Chandra, because it's been very annoying and unplayable. So that's actually a 3/3 now, which is pretty nice. But if he attacks, I think I will not block, because I need it for the discount for the Serpent. Life is a resource. And I hope this 5/6 will be holding back many things. And now that I got the discount, I might as well just attack with this. Okay. So he is on a 2-turn clock. And I am on a 3-turn clock. So I'm wondering if... oh my goodness. That is very painful. So I think we're just dead next turn, pretty much. Yeah, that was a good game. He has so many creatures, so he can just attack with everything now, and I think there's no way we can survive if he at least attacks with everything. Yeah. Well, whenever another insect you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. So we can still live, but I don't think we can win. We go down to 1. But I don't see anything that we can top deck which can help us win this. Especially against a big elephant like that. Yeah, never mind. Okay. Well, I'm most definitely getting rid of Chandra, because it's been of little value. And it's only been a dead card, and we've been pretty unlucky with the mana so far. So I'm just going to get rid of that, get rid of those. Add some lands, mostly blue. And now we put in 1 more card. And I think it's going to be some kind of 2-drop artifact, but we don't have any more 2-drop artifacts. So I think this one, because it holds the ground and it can be pretty good in late game. So far 2 and 2. It's been pretty terrible games, to be honest. I mean, we're not drawing our cheap artifacts when we should. We're always stuck on mana, or we're being very flooded, so it's pretty much a surprise that I'm actually still 2 and 2. But let's fight for some better games. Same thing. It makes absolutely no sense. So I'm just going to mulligan. What is this? Okay. Well, I don't see us winning this one, to be honest. So many 2-drops, but totally unlucky. Okay, well, I know a few titles for this match for YouTube, and they're not pretty titles. Oh my goodness. This is just... Well, it's not done yet. But we are pretty close to dying here. Especially if he has that one. So we bounce off the Oil Gorger, we play the Pathmaker. Yeah, sure, dude, go ahead. I think we're dead anyway, doesn't really matter. I mean, what is this? What is this? I don't think we can actually get... We can get something from the Pathmaker which crews, but he can blow anything up, so I think we're just dead anyway. So many cheap artifacts. But it just couldn't be. So I think this is the end of the game. This deck deserved so much better. Okay. Thank you for watching. Now, if you like what I did, feel free to click some buttons. And if you have any feedback, especially, also do let me know. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Thank you for watching Dad's Drafts.